Hey everyone, Coach Investor back to another video for you today. And of course, last week I said remember the Credit Suisse story, and of course the market had to remind me what happened with Credit Suisse. And well, today it's all over the news. It's another SVB type of scenario, but with Credit Suisse, it's actually a bank that had issues for years and years and years. It also had a cocaine, scandal that it was laundering money for a Bulgarian mob or something like that. Check it out, or I'll pull it up here on the screen. So anyways, fine, we're getting a reminder of Credit Suisse. But in this video, I want to focus on Amazon, which actually has been holding quite well today. As you can see, the stock is up, I think around 1.2% or so when I'm filming this. Big green candle for this week. This is again the weekly chart. We're just over the 20 and the 50-day moving average. MACD is still bullish under the zero. RSI pretty neutral there. Again, I think we have to make our way back up to 105-ish. Of course, back at the end of January, we tried for a very, very short amount of time to go over that 200-day moving average, failed miserably, then went all the way back down to 90, actually $88 or so on Monday when the market opened. For the graph, again, still need to form a small-ish base for it to be a bit more comfortable to make our way back up. But of course, for the long term, with regards to Amazon, you want to see the profitability of the business stand out, cost cuts, etc. So in the second part of this video, I'm going to talk about an aspect of the business that could be highly profitable for Amazon in the future. You might have guessed it already. It's similar to Starlink. It's their own Project Kuiper. It's the low orbit satellite internet. So yes, a bit similar to Starlink, but of course right now there are still no numbers, so we can only compare it to what Starlink has been doing. I think Starlink is 4 to 5 years ahead of Amazon, ahead of that project right now. And who knows, maybe they might catch up, but let's be honest, right now the big issue here is that, well, Starlink can use the Falcon 9 reusable rocket, so it's already costing them less. Amazon reportedly has to invest or is investing $10 billion already right now. Remains to be seen what the success rate will be, but we're going to talk about all of that later on in this video. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, and if you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and the pinned comment to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. So first up, we obviously had this news that Amazon and Riven's exclusive deal for electric vans might not last longer. So the online retailer Amazon signed on to purchase 100,000 delivery vans from Riven over a couple of years' time. But apparently it was reported that they only ordered around 10,000 vehicles for this year, which is the bare minimum. Now, in the deal, the fine print states that Riven could cut the exclusivity deal short if Amazon doesn't purchase 10,000 of its vehicle in each of the first 2 years that Riven starts production. So, of course, that's why they ordered 10,000 vehicles. But again, is it enough for Riven? Is it not enough? How fast can Riven actually ramp up? So it doesn't really make much sense to complain about, well, they're just ordering 10,000 vehicles for this year if they can't even deliver those 10,000 vehicles. And so someone at Amazon says, while nothing has changed with our agreement with Rivian, we've always said that we want others to benefit from their technology in the long run because having more electric delivery vehicles on the road is good for our communities and our planet. Okay, fine. I mean, maybe they thought this would happen in a couple of years later and not right now. Then again, it's Amazon's investment in Rivian, so it's also in Amazon's, let's say, interest for this investment to actually succeed and not fail. On the other side, Riven would like maybe more customers so it can diversify. Could be. And then I'm going to end this with a comment by a Riven spokesman. So Marina says here, the relationship we have with Amazon is a very positive one. So there is that. Again, you can look at it from both sides. Amazon obviously not wanting to maybe burn too much cash right now. Remember, the profitability of the business is important. Cost cuts is important. So yes, ordering the bare minimum makes sense. On the flip side, I don't think Amazon would mind, to open up this partnership and let Riven sell their vans to others as well. I think it's their investment. They want their investment to work. For Riven to stay afloat, I think maybe attracting more customers makes sense as well. So we'll see what happens with that. Then a quick thing with regards to AWS. So it was selected by Southwest Airlines preferred cloud provider. So this large-scale modernization with AWS is part of the airline's long-term plan to enhance the passenger journey, optimize operation, and efficiently invest in information technology IT infrastructure. Remember, at the end of last year, this whole fiasco with Southwest Airlines? Well, maybe this might prevent it from having the same issue as a couple of months ago. And I didn't know this, but apparently Southwest Airlines is one of the world's largest low-cost carriers, operating 4,000 flights daily during peak travel season. So not a small customer. All right, now let's talk about what could be the next pillar for Amazon. I'm talking about pillars because that's exactly what they said, what the CEO said during the last earnings call. So when they're talking about investments in different areas, cost cuts as well. So he says here, I think that while we've gone slower in some devices and things, we still, when we look at the answers to those 4 questions, we are very enthusiastic about our investments in streaming, our low orbit satellite and copper, healthcare, and a few other things. And do I think that every one of those new investments will be successful? History would say that that would be a long shot. However, it only takes 1 or 2 of them becoming the 4th pillar for Amazon for us to be a very different company over time. So I think it's very worthwhile. Remember, Amazon invested a lot in AWS, and look where that got them. Pretty far. And so this week, Amazon came out and showed us the new designs for these satellites. So obviously you have the portable one, the medium one, and then a very large one, which if we scroll down, we can have a bit more information here. So Amazon expects to produce these terminals for less than $400 each. Apparently, it will deliver speeds up to 400 megabits per second. Now, of course, they can produce them. They say they can produce them for around $400, maybe even less. Remains to be seen how much is going to cost the customers. Still, no pricing has been announced. Of course, there are 3 models as we've seen. So an affordable high performance design for residential and small business customers. Then we have an ultra compact one and a high bandwidth design for the most demanding needs, which could deliver speeds up to 1 gigabit per second. So of course the prices here may vary, but if we compare it, for example, to Starlink, which I've put a random address here, don't worry, this is not where I live. So it says here, customer in this region typically see download speeds of 50 to 200 megabits per second. It will cost 80 euros per month for service and 450 euros for hardware. So maybe, I don't know, Amazon could offer the same thing. Then, when will this happen? So apparently Project Kuiper is also preparing to deploy its first 2 prototype satellites on the first flight of the United Launch Alliance Vulcan Centaur rocket, which I think I saw that the launch could be in May of this year. Then they say here the team recently began development of a dedicated satellite production facility in Kirtland, Washington, and expect to begin mass producing satellites by the end of 2023. Project Kuiper expects to launch the first production satellites in the first half of 2024 and plans to give its earliest customers access to the service beginning later that year. So hopefully maybe we'll get some pricing later this year. Now, if you want more information, it's on Amazon's website with regards to this project. So when will Project Kuiper's service be available? So of course, we've talked about the prepared launches here. Now, they expect to operate at least half of their satellite constellation by July 2026. And of course, like we said, they expect to provide service to the earliest Project Kuiper customers by the end of 2024. So still quite some time until at least half of the satellite constellation will be operational. Now, the thing that annoys me with this project is that there is no, let's say, announcement with SpaceX, because we know that SpaceX with the Falcon 9, the cost of launching is way less than the competition out there. So they previously announced here that they secured up to 83 launches from 3 commercial space companies, Arianespace, Blue Origin, no surprises there, and United Launch Alliance. So these agreements mean we have enough capacity to carry into space the majority of the 3,236 satellites that make up our satellite constellation. Now, of course, we can take some examples from Starlink, right? They reach over I think by now probably 1.2 million subscribers, over probably $1 billion on annual run rate. Of course, it took time to reach those numbers, but since they are directly linked to SpaceX, directly linked to those reusable rockets, Falcon 9, the cost of launching, the cost of operating this whole operation, this whole project, will be way less than Amazon's. I don't know what happened. Maybe Amazon never asked SpaceX for help, or maybe SpaceX said, look, no, we're not going to help you, even though they are helping another competitor. So maybe there is still this beef between Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. I don't know. But to me, it's a big flaw in the whole project. It is costing them a lot of money, reported $10 billion, like I said. Might cost them even more if, let's say, there is delays after delays, if the rockets, I don't know, blow up or whatnot. But if it is successful, then you can already imagine the huge amount of revenue that will come into the Amazon business. And I can already say for sure right now that it will somehow be linked with Amazon Prime. For sure. So maybe that will bring the cost down, of course, attract way more customers, since if you're a Prime subscriber, I don't know, it will cost you X amount of dollars per month instead of Y, and then the installation is free or something like that. I don't know. But of course, since Amazon has the whole Amazon ecosystem with Prime, with AWS, then there is Blue Origin, but it's like Tesla and SpaceX, two different companies. I think this could be a huge, huge opportunity for Amazon. Of course, it won't happen tomorrow, as we've seen. Still have some time to actually see one work. But over the long term, I think this should not be overlooked. What do you think about this opportunity? Of course, I'd love it. I'd love if Starlink somehow went public and us Tesla shareholders somehow got rewarded. But right now, still no news on that front. But be sure to comment your thoughts down below when it comes to Starlink, competitors like Project Kuiper, and Amazon as an investment. Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.